I think the challenge or the concept of making the most terrifying mummy movie people had ever seen was a big draw towards it. And the Mummy, maybe bringing it back to its roots. There was horror movies in the past, less so in recent history, where they were more fun, action, adventure style films. But I was interested in taking the concept of something, a dark buried secret and that history, and doing something kind of frightening with it. I think that was a big attraction for me. And then making a movie that was about mummification for a different purpose as well, because we have a preconceived notion. If you say to someone, what do you think when you think about a mummy? Let's say not in a movie, you probably think about the museum, and you think about the pharaohs, and you think about gold, and you think about, these aspects. And I thought, what if it happens to a loved one, and why? And that sort of question as a filmmaker always gets the brain ticking. Yeah, I think so. I think we talked about it in a number of different ways, and I think Jason Blum being such a brilliant supporter of filmmaking talent and wanting to back people, I know he felt very passionately that this was something that needed its own identity. And for me, it's just flattering to be in that position. It's not something I asked for or insisted upon in any way, shape, or form, but it is a different movie. And that's part of the fun part of releasing the movie right now is this, people do still have some preconceived notions, and I don't think people are going to quite expect what's coming when it hits them. I think that if people maybe thought differently about making a cheese sandwich after watching Evil Dead Rise, or that, losing the knuckles, oh, it's the worst. But I think in this one, people might think twice about getting a pedicure. I think it's an interesting one because Evil Dead was stepping into a franchise, and in a way, I think with making The Mummy, is adding to film history, I hope, as opposed to a particular franchise, because it's its own thing. It doesn't lean in. So I'm very interested in some of the original ideas I have right now. But no matter what, if not that he would land upon my lap, because it would be quite horrifying, but I've always harbored an ambition to play around with Freddy Krueger. For sure. I was younger. Jaws, and I know some people go, it's not, but it's a monster movie. Jaws is my favorite movie of all time. First time I ever got scared by something was watching that film. The Shining as well. And Poltergeist, which influenced me in making this movie as well. The kind of domestic qualities that are in it. And A Nightmare on Elm Street, all of them. I love them all, not necessarily equally, but I love them for what they are in different ways. And then as I got a little bit older in terms of influences coming in, like Rosemary's Baby, The Wicker Man, I adore. I would love at some point to make a horror movie that doesn't necessarily have so much of the physical and is more purely psychologically driven. Like if you look at The Wicker Man and Rosemary's Baby, you have a central character and everybody's lying. To me, there's nothing more terrifying than that. That's scarier than any monster to me. What a unique horror proposition it was, and how it plays with your expectations, and ideally that people enjoy both the horror aspects, but there's heart in the film as well, and there is some humor also, and there's mystery. So I hope people enjoy what I was trying to piece together was a very layered and detailed fairground ride in that kind of way. And I just hope ultimately that people are entertained. Like, that's the thing. Every single person in the world that spends money getting a ticket and buying their popcorn and going to see something that you create, I wrote at my kitchen table, blows me away. So the contract I'm always trying to make with people or work really hard for it is that you'll at least be entertained.